season 2 of the Natty Muscle Radio podcast with myself, IFBB Classic Physique Pro, Robert Waterhouse, and my co-host.
And for all you guys that are like massive fans of Rob now that he's a big deal, and you see him make a post about this and go like, here's my new podcast, and everyone's like, oh great, Rob, my favorite Classic Physique Pro, is going to do a podcast with one of his like other IFBB Pro friends or something like that, and it'll be great. Well, who I am is not IFBB Pro, not natural DFAC Pro, anything like that. Just reasonably average, but maybe slightly better than average amateur bodybuilder who, the only way I could describe it is when you watch your favourite pro and they've got like the slightly shit mate training with them and you're like, why am I watching this guy? That's me. So I implore you to go back and watch them. Go back and watch season 1.
How many episodes have they got to catch up on from season 1, do you reckon?
We did one every week for like what? Several, I don't know, like 6 months or something.
Several weeks. Do you think that, it's going to be a hard decision on what meme we create this week? Because that's been probably about 6 months since he's made a meme as well. So maybe I wonder if he's been getting any residual income from the memes that he's made all this time.
For us? Well, we haven't been getting any residual income that I know of.
No, so he hasn't then either. So
that's fine.
I'm thinking we'll pay you in Pepsi Max. So
nice. Well, I'm in France, so I'm on the Perrier. It's all about the Perrier.
What? Sorry.
The Perrier.
The Perrier. What the hell is Perrier?
Fizzy water.
The Perrier. Is that what they call it?
It's a brand of fizzy water.
Is it?
Right. Yeah. We're 2.5 minutes in, and they're like educate you about the levels of fizzy water. Like you can get like a crap Buxton or something like that. Not to slant on Buxton because it's too far from where you are, but like you come to France and you get a Perrier, and it's different. And like when you're prepping, not doing now. Great.
Is it like hydrolyzed whey compared to whey concentrate?
Yeah. It's like buying it's like buying like a bulk powders like whey chocolate fudge, and it's like, I ever tasted a chocolate fudge like this? And then like buying like, you know, mutant isosurge or something in like birthday cake, and you're like, or you buy a 10 times athletic protein because that tastes better because they're the best. So
emojis or inserts. Quick question I had, not a question actually, but it's been quite a revelation of going back to the drawing board on whey proteins, because as you can see from my beautiful roller banner backdrop I have here, when I came to Dubai, I was supposed to be here for a week. Now we're now 4 months in. 3 months in. And obviously I only bought enough protein in a bag to last me a week. So obviously I had to buy supplements. Yeah. So I have been, how should we say, on a mission, I guess you would say, to find a very, very good protein I wouldn't be using. I can't use because obviously I don't really want to pay like £40 in shipping costs, the same as the amount of thing to get it to Dubai.
Yeah.
So I've been through 3 different types of protein since I've been here to try and find a good one. So I probably won't plug any of them, but I'll tell you the ones that were really bad.
I won't plug anything or give anyone any props, but I'll say which ones were awful. Don't buy those.
Yes. So don't buy ISO Pure, which I was mistaken. The fact that I thought that you had a really, really good one on prep. What was the name of that one?
What, ISO Surge? What I just said, mutant ISO Surge.
ISO Surge, right? So this was called ISO Pure. So I thought, I think that's the one Aeronn used to use. Oh, get this, looked at the ingredient profile. Well, very good. Actually looks very good. only way I can describe the taste was like chocolate metal. So, like, you know, when you've like, if you imagine you was gonna make a chocolate protein shake, and then fill it full of 2 peas, and 1 pea, then whisk it around, and then drink that water. That's what it tastes like. Yeah. Okay. That's what it tastes like. So probably don't buy that. But the only way I've managed to saving grace that is use that tub of protein mixed with some chocolate, mixed with some orange glucose, which glucose makes anything taste really good. Yeah. And that's the only way I've been able to use the tub of protein to actually make it tolerable.
Chocolate orange whey. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a chocolate orange metal whey. So.
Okay.
So that's good.
So avoid that.
So don't buy that one. So anyway, what on earth have you been up to? Have you made the vaccine for the coronavirus? And have you been training, more importantly?
Yeah. So, wow. What's happened since we last spoke to the YouTube world and all of our...
Do you think the last episode we did was very short after the season had finished, or maybe after I won the pro card, and then we maybe did one other episode, and
so
then we...
the last episode we posted was your victory episode.
Oh, was it?
There was a short recorded episode afterwards that I never posted because I was in America and I was like being lazy. But that was the last one. That was the victory one. So since then,
we could have just to interrupt you, we could have the missing archive episode. We'll find that one day and then like repost it in 6 months.
Yeah, and it'll have no context. It'll be entirely irrelevant. In fact, it was just after you'd been on Faward's podcast.
Oh, Fuad's
podcast.
Yeah.
So since then, you've been name dropped a few times on Fuad's podcast, and it tends to be there tends to be a few different reasons why you get name dropped. It's when they're doing the discussion of how big you should get in the off season, whether you should stay lean, and Fuad just always comes in and goes, "Rob Waterhouse is a total fat bastard when in the off season," and he loves it and he gets excited about that. He also uses you in the Natty versus not sort of debate when people get angry about that, and he just says, "Well, Rob Waterhouse and Doug Miller, there's some guy called Doug Miller, just train like everybody else," and so he frequently uses you like that. I've got a counter going. I like to message you every time I hear it. So
yes, and only if he gets my name right, because I was known for Rob Waterson for a while, and people were looking for Rob Waterson on Instagram, and randomly following some random guy.
Think about how many
wasn't a bodybuilder.
How many clients you could have had if you didn't get that wrong. So
I know. So it is actually no how should we say coincidence that after that second episode of Bro Chat where he brought it up, I think I gained about 800 followers over 2 weeks and about 5 new clients. So cheers, Fuad, for name dropping me again, because everyone went back and watched 50,000 views it's had.
It's quite a few more than
no, it's not quite as much as ours, but it's close. So
it's also quite a few more than some other famous pros, I believe, that he's interviewed. So sorry guys, just saying. So I guess
who? Yeah.
I mean, maybe
who was it?
Yeah, maybe
I was hoping we could just name drop someone.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let's do a top 5.
Samson Dowder.
Let's. You know what we can do? Cheers, Samson. What we can do is like, remember when we used to joke in season 1, like the IFBB pros would watch, and we'd be like, because we'd take the piss out of like Steve. I'm quite notorious now for taking the mick out of Steve Lawrence's back, and it seems like he's brought it up quite a lot, which is quite funny. And I always used to joke like, because Steve Lawrence is watching our podcast, and now you're going to be sharing the stage with him at some point.
Oh shit! I am. Fuck. Do you know what my mate said about you while I'm sitting at the back of the stage?
He's going to turn around for a raidable bicep, and he's just going to be looking you up and down. There we go.
It's funny because my mate said your back was not very good, but it actually looks pretty good from where I'm standing. So yeah, props to you. He'd be like, "What?" Yeah, well done on getting your back up. So.
I'll just sat in the crowd being fat. So all right, yeah. So you're asking
an elite FTS t-shirt you've got.
That is because I'm well cool.
Good top.
Yeah, it's a good top.
I think one of the best quotes from one of them little. Sorry, I just had a bedtime reminder come up on my phone. So, because bodybuilding, one of the best quotes on one of the elite FTS was when he had a team of people in learning how to like reset their squat, and this one of the Asian guys like bent down to do his shoelace, and he was like, if you can tie your own shoelace, mate, you're obviously not big enough. And the guy was just like, I thought the 90s were over.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
Elite FTS is great. The reason I can't bend down, Tammy laces is because
Because what? Sorry.
I was lost you a bit. Yeah, the reason I can't tie my laces is because of my knees. It just clicks all the way down, which is a shame.
Oh, how much money do you think Dave Tate, Elite FTS, has made out of rubber band, elastic band sales for training with since COVID and lockdown across the world?
Yeah, a lot. Because they're the first ones that have really seen it anyway, and actually doing it well.
Yes, correct.
Right, wait,
yeah,
one
we'll
sec.
give them that one.
I'm going to have to do a mid-podcast plug-in of my laptop. Now, it shows how out of practice I am. Because we're on an 11% here. And we're on 10% now. So let's do a classic Dusty Hanshaw style mid-podcast plug-in. Yeah,
excellent. So usually I like to analyse your artwork in the hotel room while you're up and about, but they're not giving you much, are they? Not giving me much to go on. Looks like maybe a sand and some sea, and I can't make out with it. At least put the Eiffel Tower in there, for goodness sake. Like, at least make it a little bit stereotypical of a French place.
Yeah, well, I'm not in. I actually said I was in Paris. I'm not. That's a lie. I'm in Montpellier, which is the south of France. So,
Montpellier.
Yeah. But the gyms
are shut. Drinking your Perrier water, or whatever it was.
Perrier water. Gyms are shut in France, which is crap. And obviously gyms are shut in the UK also, so I'm not training. Sort of.
That was the question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I may have formed a support bubble with a friend about.
Is he a vulnerable 80-year-old man?
He's a vulnerable 40-year-old man with a very, very shiny head, and a squat rack and a Smith machine. So, so we're all right. However, I thought you might be interested to see what I have resorted to for this week in my hotel room. So I have a door frame pull-up bar for a start. Now, I am doing a mini cut for those that care. And the height of my off season, I was 97 kilos at all 5'2". When you really think about that,
it's pretty small. Yeah,
it's pretty wide. I don't know if I mentioned it before in season 1. Yeah. So I'm doing door frame pull-ups, and it's not quite 1 rep max. I thought it would be, and I do have to use a band for support, so I'm getting a spotted pull-up. But those are hard when you're quite big.
So question.
Yeah.
Where did you purchase the pull-up bar from? Is it movie quality? Question B. And what is the weight limit that is supposed to be for the pull-up bar?
Amazon, because I buy everything off Amazon now. Everything. Yep. Jeff Bezos is going to rule the world, and I'm fine with it. I'm not bothered. It's great because you can have the shit to come the same day. That's fine. Movie quality, what does that mean?
Means like, have you seen Step Brothers? Okay, right. So it's probably the best film of all time, just letting you know. Right. So at the end, one of the brothers, both 40-year-old step brothers, hence the name of the film, one puts a Chewbacca mask on that the parents have got them, and his is like the full movie quality Chewbacca mask, right? And the other one puts on another Chewbacca mask, which looks like it's been made by, like, I don't know, what would be a good example? Home bargains, right? And he's
like when is that like at Christmas when everyone was trying to buy Baby Yodas and like they sold out, and so people were buying shit ones off Etsy, and it was like just a green teddy bear.
His quote was, "It's okay, mine isn't movie quality." So if I say, "Is it movie quality?" Like, you know, is it like premium or is it like non-movie quality? Yeah,
this is movie quality.
It's movie quality.
It's portable, so I obviously don't have to screw it into the wall because that's sort of considering it's a hotel.
Yes.
And the weight limit is like they reckon like 150 kilos.
Wow, Jesus!
And it's got a design that when it's weight bearing, it's actually more sturdy because at each end it has a little paddle that when the force brings it down, it pushes the paddle into the wall.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So that's great. However, do you want to see what isn't movie quality and what isn't science? It's my broomstick barbell.
Broomstick barbell. Oh dear.
Okay. Now, it's the broomstick barbell. However, it's the collars really that are genius. So I bought a broomstick. I brought some weights, 12 kilos.
In your case, or while you're here? Did you? Excellent. Good.
So
I only bought one outfit, but I did buy all my weights with me. So
I'm literally going to work in this Elite STS top, but I've got loads of.
Yes.
So how optimal is that? But so yeah, I bought a broomstick from the store. However, the weights rolled around a little bit, so I had to make my own collars out of socks.
Socks. It's a pretty good broomstick. That. What's it made out of? Metal.
It's like it's like a pine broomstick. It's like a kendo stick. It's like beat someone up with it. Like if it was like
brilliant. How many sets of curls have you done with it since you've been there?
Curls, none, because don't train arms, do I? That's why they're rubbish. But I actually only bought it today.
Did you? Excellent.
No, so we'll find out shortly when I train with a broomstick barbell. So
excellent. What time is it over there?
That's not. And other than that, it's just bands. So that's what we're doing. But it's fine.
Good.
So what about you with your?
What?
Oh, didn't catch that. Go on. Say again.
Sorry. And what time is it over there for the third time? Cheers.
Sorry.
Goodbye.
Cheers, internet. We're at 8 o'clock.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. So was it 11 o'clock here or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So we'll try and keep this episode to like an hour. We've literally talked about nothing since we've started.
Yeah.
So I guess the intro's done. So I don't think you answered. So you are training, but you're training in a living room effectively.
So yeah, I guess to summarise and be succinct then. So I have been fortunate. So since last time we spoke to everyone, I have been to Boston for 3 months, which was cool. And I trained in an amazing gym out there called Pro Lifters. You have a hoodie.
I've got a hoodie, yes. Thanks.
Yeah, wicked gym, run by IFBB Pro figure competitor and Olympian, Maria Diaz. She's wicked. Her fella Tom is cool. And the gym is just wicked. It's full of hammer strength, but I'd like good other pieces of kit as well, like a few select pieces of kit, and that was awesome. Just training there for 3 months in America, eating lots of food, so that was a nice big gaining phase. And then when I come back, fortunate enough to have a nice little hookup, raw garage training style, which is wicked. Doing that, and now we are back with Yoda Team DSL, and we are mini cutting to stop being such a fat bastard in preparation for the next time we step on stage, whenever that may be. And that's what we're doing in summary.
Excellent. Well, that is an excellent segue into a kind of a little bit of what we maybe thought we might talk about. 2021, should you compete? I think was the answer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll start kind of catch everyone up what you've been doing then, and that'll lead into nicely with kind of that question really, because I think you might know a little bit about that.
Okay, so what have I been doing? So in July this year, we booked to come to Dubai, which was supposed to be our New Year's trip. Like the year before, we came and walk around, watch all the fireworks and all that kind of stuff. So that was all excellent. Yeah. So it just happened that they actually ended the lockdown, and then we were flying the day before. Basically, it was all supposed to be completely shut off. So we kind of very much got out of the right nick of time. So we got here on the 29th of December. 29th, I think it was. And yeah, it was the best New Year's ever. Basically got a Deliveroo to the room because we had to quarantine for 24 hours when we got here. But the good thing is that the year we came before, we got to walk all the way like down the basically dual carriageway to watch the fireworks display. Yeah. And there was thousands of people on the street going to watch this big thing at the Burj Khalifa. And this year, there was not a soul in sight. Everyone was nothing going on. So basically, it wasn't missing out on anything really. So might as well just watch it on the telly. So that was good. Yeah. We got a Deliveroo. Got a, what did I get? Shake Shack, which has been one of my very favourite go-tos while I've been here, which is good. So anyway, that's where I've been since I was supposed to be here for a week's holiday. I thought, why on earth would I basically train in my garden when I can just do everything here? Because full-time bodybuilder now. So
if you hadn't mentioned it.
So if I hadn't mentioned it to anyone. So that was good. So and then here we are now. So this is where are we? Finished competing in November, I think. Was it November? I think it was November. Or was it September?
Would have been September, yeah, because I left end of September, yeah.
Shit, it was. So I think that I'm about 5-6 months post-show. I'm currently weighed in today at 13 stone 6. So that is basically just about 20 pounds over contest weight, which is very good for me. And currently was wanting to do the Tampa Pro, which is in about 19 weeks. But then this week, they released the fact that well, I'm it's going to obviously be the show, just between whether it was going to be Pro Elite show. So Rafael Santao did the split with the IFBB. And I think that's why they were waiting to see whether it's going to be confirmed or not, because obviously you have the Arnold Classic Spain till an IFBB Elite show. So I don't think they really know. Probably Eddie Hall, who's organising it, probably thought, well, bodybuilding is bodybuilding, doesn't matter. But obviously not the case. So so that's all going ahead. So I'm waiting to find out whether they're going to be having Classic Physique on at the Arnold Classic, which is 100% I will do that show. But I still would like to do a show beforehand because I did actually want just to compete internationally, just so I can go on holiday and have a different sort of set of judges, I guess, really, because I expect it will be the kind of same UK judges. Just to kind of get, I guess, a different look in, really, to see, can maybe get some feedback and all that kind of stuff.
But as well, for anyone that doesn't know, like a lot of season 1, we kind of discussed like how much of like just a bodybuilding fan we both were anyway, and all we've really spoke about in the last 6 months is how mad it is that you're now an IFBB pro with all the people that we watched, and like it's just like suddenly just being a massive Liverpool fan and now playing for Liverpool. You know, that's exactly what it's like. So, like, for you to say, but better, but just for, just as an example, but for you to say, like, I'm going to go and do Tampa Pro is mad, because, we still think about it now, and it's like, you always deep down knew that you could do it, but we never really considered what it would mean if you did. And now,
No.
like you competing at the Olympia, you're doing Tampa, New York Pro. You're about doing the UK Arnold Classic, like and the Olympia one day. Like that's not like a dream anymore. It's an actual reality.
The
so
actual
I thought it was
goal, actual goal, which is, I think it's I think it's fully settled in now as well with regards to like now I am actually focusing on like placing top 5 in a pro show, you know, and wanting to like maybe qualify on points to get to the Olympia, maybe, you know, pick the right show in the right country, maybe I might get a pro, you know, a win. You just don't know. You just don't know what your physique's going to stack up. And I think that's just kind of, it's really exciting, to be honest, because I'm just kind of like, you know, I've got some good years ahead of me with bodybuilding, I think, like with the whole coaching side, because that's gone really well. It then gives me opportunities to basically, like, I don't have to be at my normal job and then basically be there where I have to be obligated to go work in Scunthorpe, for example. Like, I can just go like, look, so I want to go and do Tampa. I can go there the week before, still do all my client check-ins and that as normal, and basically just kind of like carry on. Hence the reason why I'm in Dubai still. It's just basically like it allows you the options where you know. So if anything, the whole COVID scenario has just continued to benefit me financially, and also, how should we say? What's the word? Career-wise for bodybuilding. Yeah. So, cheers, Boris, basically. So I'm sure everyone will be.
I think it's just a good. I think more than anything, it's a good example of some people kind of thrive, don't they, when there's like challenges and situations change and stuff. Some people don't. Some people struggle in that. I think it was inspiring watching you prep in your garden, getting like hoisting the barbell up onto your stomach, you know, and all that kind of crap. And people really like that. So, you know, so you made that work, and now you're making this work. And so I think people like that. And I think and it shows to people like, yeah, okay, things might be shit in whatever you're doing. And you know, you'll admit that there was a time when you didn't know what was going to be happening. You know, you mentioned that like the work that you and Claire were doing was took away from you, and it's like, okay, well, what are we going to be doing? And you just turned it into a positive.
Yeah.
So I think people can take something from it, which is pretty cool. So
yeah.
And now here you are.
And here we are. So as I said, like the biggest problems I faced here was like getting into prep. So the good thing is here from day one when we got here, it wasn't really a holiday as much as it was great for like a week of like eating out and stuff. Like I had probably less rest days than I did training days, like altogether really for the whole time I've been here.
Yeah.
As in compared to what I usually would have, like obviously across the week. So, like, for example, I was training like 6-7 days a week for a lot of the time when I was first here, because it was like, cool, let's go try this gym, and cool, let's go try this gym, which was good fun. And then obviously when it settled in, like, I mean, I only had probably 3 days of where like food was slightly down, even though I was eating a lot of calories because we was eating out a lot. And then like I was like, right, go to the gym. They've got meal prep companies and stuff there, so I could just like buy 5 meals at the gym of chicken and potato, or chicken and rice, or fish and rice. And so I always had all my meals, and I was training. Whereas usually I'll go on holiday, I might train twice, and I'll like try and eat the best I can. But you know, it might be that I only have, you know, oatmeal and protein powder, 1 protein bar, and then like, you know, a lunch and then the evening meal. I'd be lucky to get 4 meals in, because you just go like, right, I'll take a bit of time off. But I haven't had any time off, which has been great, because it's just been like a really successful block of training. It's just at that point where I was just like, I haven't really had any time off, as kind of like where I'm just, yes, I'm doing some other stuff after I finish some, you know, client stuff or whatever, or food wise, but it's just been a really good way of kind of off seasoning. But the problem is now I'm sort of like, you know, really kind of like getting into where I'm like, right, I really need to kind of like start like turning the screw really with regards to dieting. And because I'm a little bit further ahead than I usually would be at this point, it's like, wow, well, do I just start going all in? It's very easy to prep here, but it's also difficult because your kind of social occasions here is to go out and eat. And there's quite a lot of people, you know, around here, like who I'm friendly with from back home and stuff like that as well. So there's all that social aspect of stuff. But on the same side, like I think if I really just decide, like, look, let's just get into it and let's just prep and do it, then I will. But the first job was obviously just, finding stuff that wasn't covered in oil. That wasn't my normal diet. It was okay, like, yes, it's good, but it's not ideal. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is beef in barbecue sauce. I'm like, have you got any like plain beef? It's like, no. It's like, okay, right. So it's a little bit of extra calories, but it's still good food. Yeah. Whereas now we've been in an apartment for the chicken buy, just to let you know. So you buy like a 200-gram chicken breast, and you're lucky to get like 100 grams at the end of it. So it's obviously pumped full of those growth hormones. Still natty. Anabolic.
You're natty if you don't. Yeah. You're natty if you don't know about
it. Ignorance is bliss. So that's good. So we're doing the vertical diet that way with regards to basically eating just ribeye, sirloin, or fillet steak, or lean Korean beef every meal, pretty much, for all my protein sources. With some oats and what else? And some eggs and some toast. So really, it's kind of been like a little bit higher in fats than I usually would, but still super high carb.
Toast.
Oh, sorry. Bread, Aeronn bread.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, it's just bread. It'll just be bread.
Aeronn bread. So that's been really, really good. So it's like a proper staple diet now. It has been for a good amount of time. I spent the first time here, like I said, looking for supplements. In the end, we ended up just like ordering off like Cardiff Sports Nutrition and getting a big delivery between a few of us. So it was like cost, because you do miss all them little bits and pieces. Like, it's like I need my glucose post workout. It's like for some reason I couldn't find it. Why does nowhere have glucose? It's ridiculous. A 10-kilo bag, which I probably could have bought in the first place, really, but didn't really want to buy a 10-kilo bag because I kept saying I'll stay one more week. All right, I'll stay another week. And then here we are, 4 months later or whatever. So yeah, so that's been me anyway, really. So still planning to compete. Still kind of just need to kind of turn the screw a little bit, really, and just go, okay, like stop eating steak and rice every day, really, because it's not my normal diet.
Okay.
Settle for watery chicken.
Growth hormone, watery chicken.
Yeah.
So, should people compete then? Is what we wanted to see.
Should people compete? So I guess the dilemma for everyone is, I guess, with that, it's, COVID was supposed to be over last year, and if anything, it's just as bad as it is this year. So I guess the dilemma is that do you prep with the, how should we say, maybe more of a guarantee that things are going to go on for next year. So I guess it's just really getting your take on, do you think things are going to go back to normal, especially with you like working that industry of kind of like, what's the scenarios that people are really facing at the moment? And do you think it's more likely that people would compete more so than maybe if they got shows cancelled last year?
I think people will feel, I guess it's twofold, right? So people will feel better about it because they know a little bit more what to expect now, right? I think people are like that on the whole. They can plan a little bit better because we've been living in this kind of lockdown world for a while now, and people know what to expect. At the same time, I think maybe people last year were competing under the notion of thinking everything would be okay. It wasn't. And so maybe those people are deterred a little bit now. So it is an interesting one. And we're talking like, we've got this carrot dangled right of June. Like, my favourite things right now are all the memes of people talking about getting hammered on like June 22nd or something. And like, just like what they're going to be like the next day, stuff like that. And I guess everyone's kind of got that, right? We've got an earlier one potentially in April with gyms being open again. But like that June time is when shows are maybe going to start and things like that. And so people are looking at that, right, and going, okay, I can prep from, if they've got good set. I would say people that are on about competing this year are the people that have got setups already. So if you're not able to train properly now, I wouldn't say people would be considering, oh, well, I'll be able to train properly from April and then compete in the summer. I'd suspect that that's not the case. But it's just how people view it based on what they learned from last year, I guess. And so, from your perspective, then, with your client base, what's the consensus? Have you got more people into it, or not?
I reckon I've got about 5 in the UK, and the rest of the people are international. So a lockdown. I've got some people, lots in America, some in Canada, some in Sweden. So everywhere, it's all handful of clients this time around who actually don't have access to a gym or adequate facilities at home. Like, I mean, like proper good gym facilities at home as well, which is mad when I think about it. Because I just think, like, yes, I had a barbell and stuff like that, but I think that as it went on last year, a lot of people just went, you know what, okay, I'm just going to buy some good gym kit and like have it at home and just convert my garage or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how like many people like I coach who have like really good like setups. I can get training videos each week from people. You know, I asked for sort of 3 to 5 videos of sort of some training analysis, and they've all got like sweet setups. Like one guy's got like a mini Ultraflex. He's got all like black and red stuff in his gym, and it looks just like a little mini Ultraflex, which is wicked.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all cool. So it's just it's just a good scenario all year round, I think, really, for them to kind of like probably be where the people in Canada have had some shows cancelled and put back already. So that has happened. And I think that has happened. There's no mention of like in the UK with regards to like Scotland opening its theatres. So the UK BFF, mate of mine was competing in that. Baz. So he was supposed to do the June show, but that's now been put back. He's doing Two Bros and other stuff as well. But like a lot of shows have already.
It looks wicked, by the way. Baz looks wicked. The pictures he's posting.
He does, yeah. He's getting big. Looks like he's getting bigger by the day and more shredded by the day. So shout out to Baz.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So I've said that I will come back to see him compete. I'd love him to do get a qualification for the Arnold Amateur this year as well, so we can both compete on the same day, or at least a day or two apart, which would be wicked. Because you know, we haven't. The last time me and him did a show together, I think, was 2016 Grand Prix, but we also went to Miami together in 2013 when I won the pro card, and we competed. Like, so we've always done kind of like, you know, had like shows where we've like competed at the same weekend and things like that. So that's been really, really good. So I'm hoping that you know, most of the clients and the shows and everything, like obviously the ones in Scotland have been put back and whatnot, but just Two Bros were managing to pull shows out of their, like, you know, I don't know, some locker somewhere. It was like where they made it happen. It's got to be more guarantees this year, really, for it to go ahead. So I was thinking, like, definitely later in the year, if that's kind of on the cards, like, it's something definitely, if you're going to be doing Two Bros, then yes, definitely. I think that BNBF shows are more likely to go ahead like later on in the year. I just think that at the time, at the moment, I think that if you're planning on, especially for, I mean, a lot of people who watch our podcast, I mean, it's Natty Muscle Radio. So a lot of naturals don't have a real problem. If you want to just carry on your diet, it's not a problem. You've obviously got the scenario when you're assisted is that you can only stay on for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Or really, you should stay on for a period of time before then. So they can't just spend 8 months just like running what they would normally run, and then it was the show kept putting back. So that's the issue, I think, and the scenario. That's the problem. So, so like if it said, like with obviously things like Two Bros and stuff, like, you know, that's what people are facing. But for obviously natural competitors, I don't think it matters as much, because I think that once you're in shape, it's very, very easy to hold it to a certain extent. Yeah. You know, you can almost reverse diet out the show, reverse diet out your prep, and you're still staying like wicked nick and continue on with your cardio and your training and stuff like that, and hold a very, very good looking physique, you know. So
I think the same thing. I think ultimately I'd say the same thing applies just to last year. Like, you make a good point with, you know, specifically with natural competitors. It's like, if you intended to compete this year anyway, you can roll through it, and if all that you do is get yourself in better condition, then you can still make that decision of whether you roll into an off season if whatever reason the season's cancelled and stuff, and then by that point you're not going to have pushed yourself so hard in the prep, unlikely, that it's been any detriment anyway.
Yeah.
For an actual competitor, really, like 90% of your prep is only going to benefit your physique, and you're probably going to be training still in that kind of phase when you're prepping, when your workouts are better than in the off season because you're fitter and you're still just as strong and everything's just optimal. Like you're sleeping well, you're drinking a lot, you're eating properly. It's only really that last bit when that drops. So if you're still doing that, you're only going to get yourself into a good phase.
Yeah. So. And as we spoke about before in season 1, about how, it was like setting up your, your competition, as a season, not as a one-off show, because more than likely, if you're doing the Scottish qualifier and you want to then do nationals or the British finals at September, October, so that you've kind of like, you've almost got to be prepared the fact that really you can't take too much time off and you just get better between that period. You have a bit of bump in food and you bring it back down again. So, and obviously I know guys said, who are assisting can probably, come on, said it basically. So I think it's a good thing for sure. So basically, if you're Natty, just do all the shows all year. So
do every show
in all the different feds. So that's good. So I guess the short answer of it is like, yes, I think it's very, very likely. If a client was to come to me tomorrow and say, like, look, I'd like to do some shows later in the year, what do you think? I say 100%. 100% I would do that. And, get your ass in gear and get going, full-time bodybuilder, really. So, yeah, good.
Nice. Okay. So, what was I going to say? So, I've had a revelation in my garage training after the Hobbit Hole. Acquired a Smith machine.
Okay.
And it's the Smith machines are the best piece of gym equipment of all time. Specifically when you're not quite as young as you used to be and everything hurts, but you still like to try and train like you're young.
Mm-hmm.
So gone are the days when I see Chris McCready coming in and like ripping 15 plate deadlifts. I'm not saying I ever used to do that. However, I think, wow, God, like imagine being like that young and just that, able to do that shit again.
Yeah.
And I have to think a little bit differently now. And obviously I had my face pull injury from last year. But I found so we acquired a Smith machine, and I found that not only did it allow me to like work around some injuries and stuff, but actually things like bent over barbell row on a Smith machine just was a totally different move than like regular barbell rows. Something like regular barbell rows are great, and I don't think it's a replacement for it, but it's almost like, sometimes when you use a machine and you get that fantastic contraction and that like connection that sometimes maybe you miss with a free weight, but still with the intensity and that rawness of the free weight.
Yeah.
And so
it was almost like, I think in your 20s, it's like a sin to do a bent over barbell row on a Smith machine.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like, absolutely, you should like try one, because I think I think it was on one of the Elite FTS videos. It was like, the more you start training like you're 40 when you're 20, the more you will feel like you're 20 when you're 40 or something. I've probably absolutely butchered that, but you get the point. It's like, yes, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So
when we're training legs now, with pretty much the only direct quad move we do is like hack squats on a Smith machine. So I'll basically do front squats and sort of like a hack style stance. And I'll finish like a top set and then a back off set on that. And I'll have like sore legs, like dome style, halfway through that workout. Like,
Really?
right, yeah, right away. Like, it's mad. It's like it's a
you're in
connection
trouble
that
then, don't you?
yeah, big time, yeah. And then things like what I'm getting at really is sort of like, I think we touched on it last year, but I think it's more apparent the more we've had to do it now, or the more I've had to do it. It's like that breakdown of like, when you've got loads of equipment and stuff, it's great, and when we're in Ultraflex and stuff, it's great to use all different equipment, but just what you can get out of like basic shit. And so things like dumbbell hamstring curls, like, I have a better contraction when I do dumbbell hamstring curls than any hamstring curl I've ever used. And I'm sure that when I go back to the gym, I'll probably just try and use a hamstring curl machine again because it's less of a ball ache. But I'm going to try not to, because similar thing, like, I'll have sore hamstrings in areas that I haven't ever had before for days after doing that. And then
it's that whole thing of having to try and contract your hamstrings to keep the dumbbell between your feet is half of the problem. Abductor cramps are real for sure.
Yeah.
What are you getting up to weight wise on those?
So if I go above like a 20 kilo dumbbell,
in your feet.
That's all right. I've got little fat hobbit feet, so it's fine. But I kind of lose that contraction. But like Chris is blasting through 25s and stuff. But you can use some reasonable weight, and so long as you can still, I think you need a good negative. That's a nice slow negative, and a controlled explosive positive that doesn't come halfway. The key thing for him is like not to contract it all the way back over your ass. Like, just contract it so it's hamstrings got it.
3/4.
So you got to get that weight right. But there, Ace.
Have you been doing the banded like Nordic curls as well for hamstrings, where you put your feet like under something or against something? Because I did them in my garden workouts last year, and they are absolutely horrific.
You know what? We haven't, and you're dead right. They're brutal, and I could probably do them here with me broomstick if I can wedge my feet under something. But we have got a sissy squat, a proper good mirror fit sissy squat.
Have you?
And we could probably wedge our feet under that Nordic curl stand and do that.
And plus, if you wear knee wraps or neoprenes, at least, you don't need to put anything on the floor to protect your little knees either, like a little pillow. So you know.
So that's good. So that's that's just highlighting, I guess, piggybacking off of like whether you can train or whether you should compete and stuff like that. It's really like I've learned a lot. It's kind of like just a relearning, I guess, of things that like moves and exercises and shit like that just is so beneficial. Like we're having like full shoulder days now, which I know like is crazy to most people these days to like train shoulders. Like, not as like forming like a push or something. Like, we're actually just going in, we're doing side raises and military press, and like we'll just get in the rack and we'll just do sets and sets of overhead military press and sets of side raises and stuff. It's great. It's really stripped down, so that's awesome. So how does that compare to all the hoist machinery that I'm sure you're able to use?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a few gyms like Olympia Gym in Sharjah where they have literally they've got one squat rack, so one power. It's not even a power rack, it's a squat rack.
Right.
But then they have every other piece of leg equipment, chest equipment, shoulder equipment you've ever could imagine that there is. Like, there's 3 forearm machines. So it's like they don't need a squat rack because they just like to do these ones. So so that's always good. So that is good. But I do need to ask you for 3 of your most peculiar exercises with a Smith machine that you aren't doing right now. So can you think of 3? I can give you 2 off the top of my head, so you need to find one more.
Vertical leg press.
Yes, that was one of mine. So good, yeah. Number 2, the Dexter Jackson sit on the straddle side of a bench and do the one-handed Smith presses in the middle.
Okay.
Charles Glass style. That's 2.
Yeah.
You need to find a 3rd one.
I guess reverse that and single arm sort of like suitcase row.
Suitcase row, yeah. Yep, stood on a bench though, yeah.
Yes.
You stood on the bench for optimal height. Yep, good. That's
Yeah.
definitely a good one. Also, for quite good on them is reverse pulls, what they call like prone pulls, what they call.
Oh, like pull-ups, but like lying so from the bar.
Yes. So for your rear delt,
For my rear delt.
I'd like you to. You could snap the other rear out this time around for doing those. That'd be quite good because you're 100 kilos in body weight. So
You get to see how balanced it is at some point. Feels a little bit better. It's funny you say that because on one of the, which is probably like the best podcast on YouTube at the moment, only second to ours, is Bro Chat with Foward and
yes,
Nick and
absolutely.
It's incredible. And actually,
all my mates, you mean?
All your friends. One of your friends. And so they asked about like what's the dumbest like exercise you've seen people doing in the gym, like using shit for using pieces of kit that they shouldn't be using it for.
Yeah.
And someone brought up like using a leg press as a shoulder press, and they were all, that's dumb, like what a fucking idiot, what kind of person would do that, guy system. I was like, oh, I had Charles Glass telling me to do it. I did it once because Charles Glass got me to do it. Like,
I saw that exercise on an arm wrestling video of a guy who's some like strange BBC documentary type things. No, I tell you what, it's on Pulling John on Netflix. John Brezink, who's supposed to be like the world's all-time best arm wrestler. And he was arm wrestling this like Italian guy, and he was sat in the leg press with his like doing this little pushes with the thing with like 3 plates side on either side. Look absolutely horrendous. And obviously John Brezink beat him in the end. So so if you haven't seen the documentary Pulling John, please find it, download it, do whatever you need to do. Go watch it because it's brilliant. Best arm wrestling documentary of all time, probably.
What? So if that's the best arm wrestling documentary of all time, what's the second and third best?
Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, because that actually is based on real life. Like, especially the guy chugging the can of gasoline before the last thing. Whoever drinks gasoline, I don't know. Yeah. You've seen the film Over the Top, right?
I haven't. Is it about arm wrestling?
Oh my god! Yes, of course it is. Oh, so he's losing the arm wrestle, and then he suddenly turns his hat around and then slams the guy. So you have to go watch it. I can't believe you've not seen it Over the Top.
I hope that you know.
Sometimes whether you even like,
Sorry, I really thought I was going to catch you off guard with like your second and third favorite arm wrestling films, but I feel like there's probably.
I can find them. I could probably find them for you, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I have a third. I'd have a third one, but I definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better than I thought.
Definitely go right, John. Why don't you have an arm wrestling weekend, like Saturday, Sunday? Watch Over the Top, and then give me your feedback on next week's episode.
I will do that because there is a 6 o'clock curfew here in France, and no gyms open and nothing to do. So I'll literally have a Pulling John fest, you could say.
Pulling off John, yeah.
Pulling off John.
Off John. You've got to see Over the Top. Jesus, it's like an absolute classic.
Come on, right? So you know for a fact that I have watched
4 films.
8.
One of them being Ronnie Coleman, The Last Redemption.
Yeah. 2,
Jay Cutler, Ripped to Shreds.
Yeah.
3, Kevin Levrone, yeah.
Okay, documentaries, yes, it's bodybuilding documentary. But in terms of feature films, I've watched eight feature films in my time. Yeah, that's it, nothing more. And they've all got mentions of or Darth Vader in them.
Yeah. Agreed. How are we doing for time? Because I think I need to probably wrap up for the last bit. 55 minutes. We'll tease them in.
So let's say then. Let's say, so this is don't call it a comeback, but this is the comeback episode where we've just talked bollocks for an hour. But now that you're a big deal, and like we might get like some more followers and more people watching, let's get some questions for next week, and we'll have the usual bullshit.
Okay.
And then maybe answer some questions that people might want to ask you, in real life, but they can't because you're a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because it's I don't have to do them walking around Dubai either. I can just do them sat in this chair. Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's good. Right. Well. Okay then. Well, it's absolutely lovely to be back. I don't feel like I've properly spoken to you since then, other than the voice notes every week. But it's good to have an hour of your time. So thank you. And glad to be back.
Well, until next week, Natty Muscle Radio.
There's always another level.
Yes, there is.
See you next week.